Hi my loves, I am back with one more video for the channel. I'm really excited about today's video. I feel like every girl has their own process for a pre-makeup and what they do with their skincare, and if you know, you know. Skincare is one of those things that is so crucial for a makeup to look really good on your skin. I'm telling you today here what I do to get a flawless skin-like finish for your makeup, and it starts with your skincare. So today we're going to go run through all of my favorite skincare products that I love to use before I have a full face of makeup. It doesn't matter if you're going to go out for the day and just do a low-key makeup or a full glam. It doesn't matter. You still need to prep your skin. Your skin health is the most crucial and most important step to it all. So the basics, eating a clean diet, exercising, drinking plenty of water, all of that is non-negotiable. But there are little things here and there that you could also do to help your skincare, and I'm going to show you guys today some of my favorite products that do help with that. So let's get started. I'm going to put my hair back just because I just did my hair, and I just put on so much dry shampoo and texture spray that I'm now having some allergies. I literally had to just stop and blow my nose, and you could probably still hear it. But I'm going to start with something that I always recommend every girly out there to do, which is exfoliating your skin by removing some of your little peach fuzz. I know this is something that not everyone is comfortable with, but I promise you it makes such a difference, and you can get it professionally done if you are not very comfortable with it. But a good routine for me is every 2 weeks or so I get one of these bad boys out, and this is from the brand Billy. They have really amazing razors that I have been subscribed for a while now, and now they started having facial razors, which I'm obsessed with because you buy the whole compartment in itself and it comes with replaceable heads, so you can pop that up right out and put that back right in, so you can replace these and dispose of them. So I love it. It's amazing. So I always like to start with this, and before we go in with this, you want to make sure that you are hydrated. So whether you want to use some oil or some lotion, just making sure, just like you would for shaving your legs, you don't want to go bare face and do this because you will get razor burns. So you want to be really gentle. It's your skin. Love it. Be gentle with it. Have something that makes it easier to glide. Now, I put on some really heavy duty lotion just before getting out of the shower, so that I'm just going to go in and put a little bit more on just to give that gliding effect, and so I don't hurt my skin, because I do have pretty sensitive skin, and I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but I got a procedure to remove some of my freckles, so I do have some scabbing still. Yeah, it's still coming right off. I still have some scabbing on my skin that I don't want to damage, so I do want to do this ever so gently. So going right in with my dermal razor. I'm just going to bring my mirror closer just so I have a better sense of what I'm doing. Now, I like to start with my forehead and see it's getting the dry skin right out. So I like to start with my forehead and ever so gently going back and forth, and look how much, I don't know if you can probably see this, but a lot of dead skin is coming out. Okay, we wanted to zoom in just so you could see some of the dead skin that is coming off as I go down, which is so crazy. There's just so much. So, love that, love that. So you see all that dead skin. Amazing. So we'll go back there. I'm gonna go in here a little bit too. Now, since I had my procedure done for my freckle removal, I haven't been using my Arazlo. And Arazlo, for those who are new here, is a form of vitamin A, so it's similar to that of tretinoin, just a tad bit stronger, but yet gentler. It's just a newer formula, really, is what it is. And so this is like where all this drying is coming from. But even though it's been a few days of me not using it, it still has very much the effect on my skin. So I'm not going to go down, hopefully the camera's picking up, I'm not going to go down this side because I still have a lot of scabbing from the procedure, so I don't want to just get in the way of the healing process of it. So I'm going to just skip down to my chin. Do like to kind of get a little bit of those eyebrow hairs too that are sitting on top, and then some of the baby hairs here too will come out. But you want to be careful because I have done this before where I've taken a little bit too much hair out. So definitely go slow. There's no need to rush for this step. And I'm getting so much dry skin out. I love it. And then we're going to go down. Ooh. I want to be so gentle with these scabs. And I like to also take a little bit of my sideburn out too. Oh my god, this is amazing. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but literally, yeah, I think it is. Do you see this line of hair? And you just wipe it. Isn't that incredible? So this dermaplane would really take out so much dead skin that would essentially make your makeup not look really good. So this in itself makes all the difference to a good makeup. Okay, now that that's done, I'm not going to do too much of this area because I do still have a little bit of those scabs that I don't want to interrupt the healing process for. So we're just going to leave that. It's in my chin, my forehead area, my temple area. So those are the areas that I'm going to just focus on in terms of dermaplaning. Now, for step 2. I like to use the Elmis Dynamic Resurface facial pads, but you could really use any facial pads that are for exfoliating. These are really awesome because they have these like little bumps on here. Do you see that? And this is going to help with the exfoliation process. So I like this one. It's really gentle. My skin is really sensitive. You could probably see a little bit of redness in it already just from that dermaplaning. So I'm going to go in ever so gently and just continue that exfoliation process, but keeping in mind I'm not going to go so hard on my chin, my cheek area, just because again, I don't want to interrupt any healing process for those scabs because we don't want them to turn into any scars. So really focusing on my forehead here and removing any of that dead skin that we just removed with the dermaplane. Now, for some reason, I always get the most dry, dead skin on my temples here, that I always have to go a little bit extra harder in that area. Do you see all that? Dead skin, some of the scabs coming off. That's what we want. That's lovely. Look at that. Dirty pads. Amazing. Okay, so now I feel like my skin is really nice and exfoliated. And now I'm going to go in with a lotion. My favorite lotion of all time. It's the B5 Blast La Roche-Posay. It is so good, especially if you have gentle skin, acne prone like mine. This is something that I always use, especially when I am in the heights of my tretinoin or Eraslo. Anytime I'm feeling a little bit more redness, a little bit more peeling, I use this to just calm any redness down, give me some extra hydrating, and it works wonders. Sometimes I even put this all over my face right before I go to bed and wake up and my skin is just feeling amazing. So I'm going to focus this on my under eyes. I'm going to bring some of it into my eyelids. So any area that really has more of that drying sensation, I'm just going to bring there. My chin, my nostril area, and I'm going to just fan this out into the rest of my face. And keeping in mind that this is a more, I would say like a heavier lotion for sure. So it's not something that I would recommend using every day. At least I don't, but anytime I'm going to do more of a heavier look in terms of makeup, this is really good. I just love it because it's so hydrating, and I have really dry skin from my tretinoin use. Now, moving into under eyes. So I love to make sure that my under eyes are extremely hydrated. Concealer tends to be a little drying, and I'm 30 years old. So one of those things that I usually love to focus on is not having my concealer crease. And I know that that can be really hard and frustrating for a lot of people. So the trick that really helps me is a really hydrating, this is a peptide lotion. I got this one at Sephora. I'll link all the products that I'm using today, but just a piece size of this goes a long way. And I'm just going to dab this into my under eye. And this, because it has peptides in it, it's going to help with just making your under eyes look plumper and hydrated. Anytime I put anything under my eyes, I always like to also carry it over and put it onto my eyelids. My eyelids are also pretty dry, so you'll be hearing me say that quite often because out here in LA too, it's just kind of crazy how dry you get. At least for me, I do. And now on the same kind of family of things, this is also a peptide serum that I love to put right under my makeup. It does wonders. It plumps your skin. It also gives you a really nice glow. So I put this on before we go in with some hydrating sunscreen. One of the most important things for me too is finding products that don't pill. It's so frustrating when you go into your skincare and you are almost done with your makeup and then it starts to pill. And I think that's probably one of the most frustrating things I have ever dealt with. So I always look for products that don't do that. And these, I've tested them out. They're good, at least from my end. Now, sunscreen is so crucial to me. I use it every single day. Even if I'm wearing makeup, I still prioritize sunscreen. This one is my favorite sunscreen. It doesn't leave any white cast and it's super hydrating. Again, super, super hydrating. And it goes really well with makeup. So this one I've really been loving, and I only use this when I am going to wear makeup because it really does sit so wonderfully on the skin. It's super lightweight. It's very, almost like a watery consistent. It's really nice. I really like it. So I put this everywhere. It just has such a nice texture to it. I really like this sunscreen a lot for makeup. And the step for me that is super crucial is always hydrating my lips. And now I'm just using Gold Old Aquaphor here because it's just the best. It's simple. I would stop here and start my makeup if I'm going to have a more day-to-day lightweight makeup. But if I am going to have a more full glam, full coverage, all day kind of wear, this is when I would go in with a primer. And my favorite primer of all time is this primer here from Milk. It is honestly one of the best primers I've ever used. I used to be a huge Benefit girl, but I switched over to this one and it has just such a nice consistency. It is really tacky. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it just sits on the skin so well. And once it dries down, it kind of becomes a little sticky. And that in itself makes your skin, makes your foundation not move at all. It's just so nice. It's really nice. It's a really nice consistency. It's kind of like a gel-like, and it goes on clear like that. And as soon as it dries, can you hear that? It gets really sticky, and this is so good for makeup foundation. So if you're going to do a full glam, I would highly recommend doing a primer that has that tackiness to it. I believe e.l.f. has some really great products out there. Benefit does really good in terms of just pores. They have one of their pore essential primer that I used for so long and now switched over to this one, and I just can't get enough of this. Anytime I'm doing full glam, if I have a big event to go to that I know that my makeup is going to be smudged by kissing people or just sweating, this is it. This is gold. But because I'm going to just dinner tonight, I'm not going to do too much of a full glam. This is where I'm going to stop it, and this is when I would go into and do my makeup, and it'll look so good. So let me know if you guys try it. Let me know if you guys like it. Leave your comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram here.